I have a good question for all my fellow Christian friends. Would you rather someone be trans or gay and have a relationship with God? Or would you rather them not have the right to transition, not have the right to marry each other, and because of that, be turned off to the idea of a loving God forever? What would you rather have? What do you think God would rather have?
This man is teaching a false dichotomy here. He believes that there only seems to be two options for gay and trans people. First, he believes that for gay and trans people to be affirmed in their lifestyle and identities so that they will be more open to a relationship with God. That's what he's wanting. He's teaching that if we would affirm them and give them these legal rights to gender transitions and to marriage, that they'll be more open to a relationship with God. Or he says to not affirm them, then they won't want a relationship with God because they won't be willing to bear the cost of discipleship. I don't think that those are our only two options, and both of them deny spiritual truth. Matthew 16:24-26 says this. Then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. For what profit is it for a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? Those of us who know Jesus are willing to deny ourselves because Jesus is so much greater. We all struggle with sin. We all have fallen short of the glory of God, whether gay, straight, trans, or whatever our specific sin struggles are. We are saved by God's grace, and that grace leads us to live a different life. On one hand, we should not expect people to clean themselves up before they know Jesus. They don't have the power within themselves to do so. That the church is a hospital for the wounded, right? It's not for the self-righteous, for people who are already perfect, and there are none of those people. They need to come to know Jesus first. But we also shouldn't water down the gospel. We shouldn't try to make it more palpable by claiming that people can have Jesus, but keep their sin too. Jesus wants something better for them, and we should want something better for them also. He wants them to experience freedom from sin that has ensnared them. He wants them to live their lives to the fullest, which means death to self, so that, quote, he must increase, but I must decrease, as it says in John 3:30. So we need to decrease by denying ourselves, and then Christ can increase within us. Living as gay or trans is living in deception. Giving ourselves to sin further hardens our hearts and numbs our conscience. The concept of, I can have my cake and eat it too, doesn't make people more open to a relationship with God. It actually further hardens their heart and pushes them further away from him. And when we present to them that they can continue to live in sin and have Christianity too, they're not giving themselves to the real Christianity. They're giving themselves to an idealized version, our own version of what we want Christianity to be. But that's serving our own Jesus, not serving the Jesus of the Bible. So don't buy into what this man is saying. Love people well, including the gay or trans people in your life, but call them to a greater life, a life of self-denial, transformation, and repentance, because that transforms us to be more like Jesus. It is hard, and sometimes it seems impossible, but it is worth it. His yoke is easy and his burden is light. And at the end of this life, we have eternity with Jesus. So to answer this guy's question, yes, I want everyone to have a relationship with Jesus, but I also want them to count the cost of following Jesus first. The gospel is truly good news, and part of what makes it good news is that it leads to a different life, not only for eternity, but here on earth.